Texas, welcome to the Texas HomeSchool Convention Show. We're about to go live from the Fort Worth Convention Center in Fort Worth, Texas. This year's Texas HomeSchool Convention is underway right now in Fort Worth, Texas. Get ready for a candid behind-the-scenes interview with our very special guest. The show is live, so please comment during the show.
Texas HomeSchool Convention is more than a podcast show. We're a vibrant community, a gathering of people supporting one another in the incredible journey of raising the next generation of world changers.
Now, grab a seat, get comfortable, and join families throughout the United States and around the world as we dive into today's conversation. Live from Texas is the Texas HomeSchool Convention Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Texas HomeSchool Convention Show. We are live from Fort Worth in a bustling exhibit hall. Thousands of families have joined us, met families from California, New Mexico, Oklahoma. We've got everybody represented, and we are thrilled to have you here. The popcorn smell is heavy. The tomahawk throwing to our right is in full swing, and families are shopping. Hundreds of exhibitors getting awesome curriculum. And I actually have the privilege of getting to stand with Mr. Mark Hancock, president of Trail Life USA. Hello, sir. Welcome.
Thanks. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. If you guys are not familiar with Trail Life, could you give the 30-second pitch of who Trail Life is and what you guys are about?
Sure. Trail Life USA is a Christ-centered, boy-focused character leadership and adventure organization for boys. We start in kindergarten up through 12th grade for your homeschool parents. That's 5 to 17 years old. And we're in all 50 states, have over 60,000 members out of 1,200 churches right now participating in Trail Life.
That is wonderful. Yeah, Trail Life is a big sponsor of the Texas HomeSchool Convention. So thankful for you guys. And you were actually the main sponsor of our Tim Tebow event last night. And I was so moved by your 10-minute talk about the state of the world, where we're at, and how Trail Life is stepping in. You know, where Boy Scouts are saying, girls and boys, it doesn't matter, just come as you are. How is Trail Life fighting against the narrative that we see so often right now with the gender crisis and everything going on?
Wow, what a great question. You know, boys and girls are different, and so we reinforce that at Trail Life USA. We let boys be boys. And, maybe some people would say, well, that's a negative connotation. Well, that's because you're thinking like the culture is thinking, not thinking like God is thinking. God created boys and girls to be different. And boys can be raised into godly men, or they can be confused about who they are. And we end up with a culture that's just kind of confused. Yeah. And so we encourage boys in a male-centric environment. We surround them with good, godly men, because it takes godly men to raise godly boys. Right. And we just have a great time using the outdoors in order to grow boys into godly men in a culture that just doesn't really appreciate boys or men, really.
That's so good. You talked on some of the statistics of the epidemic, I would say, of a fatherless home. So talk to our audience and kind of set the stage. You know, we think in the Christian circle, or especially at a homeschool world where we see a lot of moms and dads, that's not actually the narrative, though, for most families. Can you talk about what you're seeing on a national scale about the absent father?
Yeah, it's really tragic. You know, 1 in 4 boys is now being raised in a household without a dad. And that's just really tragic. It's like I said, it takes men to raise godly men. Yeah. And the statistics for boys as a result of what's going on in their culture, they're twice as likely to be in special education, 3 times more likely to have ADHD. They fall behind girls in every academic category. That's why we love homeschool parents, because they can give that boy the time and the special attention that he needs. That may be hard to do in a classroom full of multiple boys and multiple girls. But the boys are really faced with some incredible challenges. There's now more girls going to college than boys. And in so many ways, boys are just in trouble. And we need to pay attention. We've got a free download at our website right now called Let Boys Be Boys, and also Raising Godly Boys, which are 2 books that talk about the difference between boys and girls and helps parents to understand how they can minister to their son, who's not his sister. He's a different model. Yeah. He's different. So.
And I think that's so powerful. You've done a couple of workshops here already this weekend. Like, there is a difference to raising boys and girls. Both are unique, fearfully and wonderfully made, and all that beautiful things. So what does Trail Life encourage dads to do? So let's paint the scenario of mom and dad are both in the home, and dad just has, he wasn't raised with a father. He has no direction for the home. Where does Trail Life step in for that dad to kind of empower him to take his family under his authority?
Yeah, wow. I just taught a workshop on that and talked about 3 things, and I'll share the first one. You know, boys would rather be praised than punished. but they would rather be punished than ignored, which means we need to understand the masculine heart of a boy, and we need to speak to it and draw it out of him, because in the culture today, that's being discounted at every turn. You know, it's just in our culture today, it's in our atmosphere that we're breathing this thing about toxic masculinity. Well, there's a biblical masculinity, and that dad is responsible for sharing that biblical masculinity and passing it on to his son. He's not his sister. That boy is his own thing. So we take it upon ourselves as dads to say, okay, what's different about my son? How do I need to be interacting with him? Because their brains are different, their eyes are different, their ears are different, so many things. They're developmentally, they're different than girls. We need to take a responsibility for that and give our boys an atmosphere where they can really thrive. So we encourage them to understand that there are differences between boys and girls, and account for those differences, and help your son to understand really what an amazing creature he is, rather than some sort of defective girl. Right. He's his own thing that's really powerful. It's not a value statement. I'm not saying boys are better than girls, girls are better than boys. I'm saying they're different. Right. And to recognize those differences is one of the most powerful things a dad can do for his son.
No, I think that's incredible. So you guys empower dad to get involved, to recognize, I love what you just said, that their son's not a defective girl, that the craziness, the mud, all of it, it's unique to them and it's amazing. What is the trail life experience then for a dad who comes in with a son or multiple sons? What do they get to experience by being a part of trail life?
Yeah, well, it's really cool. A lot of people, we're focused on boys. And that's what we're doing, raising a generation of godly young men. But we're also, and this is the best kept secret, we're also a ministry to men. Because there's a brotherhood that develops when these dads get together with like-minded men and raising the next generation. And so that man comes and says, I don't know how to camp, I'm not really a camper, I'm not an outdoor guy. You don't have to worry about any of those things.
You guys will take care of
it. You show up and there's guys there who are just fine, and you're welcome there, they're glad to have you. And it's a great opportunity. One, we're ministering to the boys. Two, the men are ministering to one another, and you're building this brotherhood of men. 3, that dad ministering to his son, having some special time with his son in a male-centric environment where mom's not around. They get dirty and smelly and do all those things. And 4, that boy who doesn't have a dad is now in an environment surrounded by godly men, and some of them are dad-likes to those. They may not even have a boy in the program, but that man is there so he can be a dad-like to a boy that doesn't have a dad. So the ministry that's going on in Trail Life at all those intersections, all being done in the outdoors, and this great experience. I would encourage men, if you're not in a Trail Life troop, find one. TrailLifeUSA.com. Find a troop. And if you don't have one, this is not one nearby, start a troop. Yeah. And you can find about all that on our website.
That's so good. So to clarify, if a single mom is listening and she's like, it's just me and my son, there's Trail Life can step in there as well. They don't have to have a dad figure, but a dad-like figure. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. And that's part of our vision, is to take these boys who don't have a dad but provide a dad-like. I had a mom in Virginia come up to me and say, 10 years ago my husband died and left me with a 2-year-old son. She said, I cried out to God that for men to help me raise my son. She says, now here I am 10 years later. My son is now 12. He's a navigator, which is our middle grade program in Trail Life USA. She said he's surrounded by godly men who are teaching him how to be a man. She said, my husband would want me to thank you. That's just wonderful. So no, boys with single moms, the single mom is doing an amazing job at home. And that boy's sister, he is a great example of what a strong woman looks like. He doesn't have an example of that boy doesn't have an example of a strong man, but he can come to Trail Life and find these good, strong, godly men. And that single mom can be content in that she's got her boy in an environment where he's around his type of people, and he's able to be fully boy in that place.
I love that. You guys are really filling a gap for the importance of a biblical home for both men or for both parents to be represented, and I think that's powerful. So thank you so much. And you guys also have a lot of fun at these homeschool conventions. What everybody doesn't hear is tomahawks hitting the wall. You guys, talk to us about why you bring things like the Adventure Zone to these homeschool conventions. What is that all about?
Oh, it's just so much fun. And a lot of times fathers and sons don't have the opportunity to do adventure kind of things together. So we kind of want to give them a taste of what it is to be in Trail Life. So they got slingshots and tomahawks, like archery tag. They got, like you said, tomahawk throwing, rope making. For a boy to learn how to make rope, how's rope made? It's just a wonderful experience to be exposed boys to. And of course, the parents love it because they've got something for their boy to do that's active. So we understand boys. If you're going to walk up and down these aisles and see all these wonderful vendors and all these booths, you got to go out and blow off some steam. So we give the Adventure Zone so the moms have a place to bring their sons and let them blow off some steam.
All right, funny question for you. We interviewed Stephen here yesterday. If you and Steven were to go head-to-head in archery tag that you guys brought, who do you think would come out victorious? Who's a better shot?
We'll have to discover that, but I don't know what his answer was. I'm pretty sure I would win. Yeah.
He did the same pensive look, and he said, I think I'll take it.
We'll find out. We'll report back.
Okay, good. So stay tuned, guys. Make sure you're subscribed so we can figure out who would take it, Mark or Steven. Okay, any last final thoughts to wrap us up? Anything you want to encourage people who are watching with about trail life and how they can get involved?
Yeah, I just want to encourage homeschool parents. You're doing the right thing, and you're doing the difficult thing. And, trail life is sort of the difficult thing in our culture. I had a homeschool mom ask me, should we go to Boy Scouts? It's right down the street, or should we drive 30 minutes to trail life? And I said, you're already doing the hard thing, because you can put your son on a bus and send him to school, but you're spending 8 hours a day with him. So you're already doing the hard thing. Do the thing that makes sense for your family. Do the things that has values. So I encourage you to find a troop or start a troop. And I just want to encourage you in what you're doing as a homeschool parent. You're doing the right thing. Giving your kids that amount of time, that focus, understanding that they're not just some automaton that can be sent off to some group of people. You're giving the individual attention, helping them understand exactly who it is that they are. So thanks for doing that. You're making a difference.
Well, guys, you heard it here. Trail Life USA, you are paving the way for our next generation and this generation to grow up to be godly boys today and the godly men of the next generation. So thank you so much for being here. We're excited to have Trail Life at the convention. And as always, what's the website? TrailLifeUSA.com? That's it. All right, guys, we will see you next. We actually have Jerrad Lopes from Dad Tired and Loving It. As you can tell, we're stacking dads here this afternoon. But guys, get involved. Moms, share this with your husbands. Make sure they know that there are plenty of resources out there, not only to just encourage him, but to support him as he continues to invest in your family. Mark, thank you again for being here with us, and we will see you around the convention.
Thank you so much. God bless.
All right. Thank you, guys. We will see you in just a few minutes.
Thank you for joining us live from the Fort Worth Convention Center in Fort Worth, Texas.
We hope you are leaving encouraged, equipped, and empowered to take on this week as an intentional parent.
Be sure to subscribe on YouTube and never miss an episode.
No matter where you are in your journey, we are here to support you. Make sure to check out our website at conventions.thsc.org. Come join our community.
This has been the Texas Homeschool Convention Show. Have a request for who you'd like to be on our show? Email us at events@thsc.org and tell us more. We always love hearing from you. We will see you next week.